All right, man. Well, first off, I'd like to thank you for doing the interview with the Hype Magazine tonight.
Man, thank you for having me.
And to get started, can you tell the fans and listeners who you are and where you're from?
I'm Danell Tipton. I'm from Spencer, Oklahoma, the Cowboy Nation of the
Yeah.
world down here in South.
Now, growing up in Oklahoma, did it make it easier for you or harder for you to get into being a black cowboy and all the dope stuff you've done in your career?
Man, down here in the South, we call Midwest South, Oklahoma, Texas is where you're going to find all the black cowboys are. I was raised up in the rodeoing industry, fathers coming up in the family. We always attended rodeos even before I was born. So the thing is that it's to compete, period, you want to be on this end of the world.
Did you have a lot of mentor? I know you we're going to highlight a lot of your career tonight, but did you have somebody who mentored you early on or somebody that told you how to get into the game, or how did you get started?
Man, like I was saying, it's kind of a family deal. My mom, grandmother, everybody, my uncles, we all, they all rode horses. So we went to a lot of rodeos. Growing up as a kid, I was just a part of everything. I rode in parades, as a kid I had a Shetland back then, a Shetland pony. And it was just kind of a, Western pleasure is, what it is on this end. And it turned in, we have a list of rodeos that, every year it's kind of I want to say a circuit, there's a bunch of black rodeos going on this end. And every year, they used to call it the Chitlin circuit. And that was because it was so many of, the soul food circuit. It's been named all kind of things. So, on this end, it was kind of easier for me to just kind of, take on. I had a lot of guys, that I looked up to back in the day, to kind of showed me the way in the ropes and stuff like that. There's a bunch of history, with black cowboying, and I was just sharp enough to pay attention, to what was going on this end. So I had quite a few mentors.
Now, you said your family was involved. You have a lot of mentors. You've been riding horses all your life. How did you make the progression into bull riding? Like, that's a lot more risky. It takes a lot more skill than just riding a horse. How'd you make the transition into even becoming a bull riding, doing bull riding?
Well, I tell you what, as a kid, bull riding was one of the most events that everybody came to the rodeo to watch because it was the most dangerous. People didn't want to see you get hurt, but they didn't want to miss it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's something that's man against beast. That's something that shouldn't even be conquered. That's something that shouldn't even been done. And as a kid, I would go to them rodeos and sit on back of the bucking chutes and just kind of watch them guys and things like that. And and then we had, coming up, as now, I watch these kids for the last 20 years around here. They wasn't riding sheep back then, which is called mutton busting. We didn't have that when I was coming up. You either got your butt on a steer, you started from the steers and went up to the bulls. And that's where I started from. I started getting on steers at an early age around, 9-10 years old. And from then on, I transitioned into bulls probably about 13. I started getting on big bulls. And, I just had a lot of guys around here that were just mentors that, kind of taught me and showed me the ropes. Arthur Stoner, he was one of the guys that really showed me what to do and how to do it. And he had never been on the bull. He rode bucking horses. And he had a barrel here in Oklahoma City on the east side. I live out in the country part, of Spencer. We're in Oklahoma City, and on the east side, there's an area called Garden Days. And that's where he was raised up at, which is gang infested area. And, he had a bucking barrel. We had a barrel in a tree with some springs on it. And they kind of help you out, get your balance, show you the form and all that stuff. And my grandmother would take me up there every day and drop me off at Stoney's house. We call him Stoney. And drop me off up there. And he would show me everything he knew about that, man. And he built a bull rider.
So you got to practice on something other than a real life animal to get started. Because I'm envisioning you 9-10 years old getting on this bull for the first time, being thrown. So at least you had some way of, perfecting your craft without all that, danger to start out with.
Yeah. I watch these kids now. I watch these kids now come up, and like I was just telling you, they started on sheep. A lot of these kids started mutton busting first, and then they progressed into calves, and then steers, and then junior bulls, and then big bulls, and now you wherever you want to go with this rodeo and thing. Coming from around where I'm from, I watched a lot of the old guys get on, and Skip Phillips, and guys, back in the day like Paul Knight. I watched them guys as a kid ride them big bulls, and I was like, man, I can't wait to get on them.
Yeah.
And I did not know I was going to make a career or a living out of it. I was just that good.
Yeah.
And and as one of the professional black guys around, the black rodeo circuit, I'm just glad to know I can go to the Super Bowl of rodeoing, which is called the NFR, and I started in the International Pro Rodeo Association, which, I won me a world title.
Congrats. 1995, right? You world champion in 1995. And let's speak on that a little bit, because you're the first black champion for bull riding, and you're proud of where you come from, Oklahoma, but maybe a lot of more people aren't familiar with it. How exciting was it to put Oklahoma on your back that moment and help you guys become, world champion?
Man, and if you just kind of know how the rodeo circuit works, there wasn't a whole lot of us black cowboys in the pro circuit, in the international or in the international. There wasn't a lot of us black guys, but there's so many of us that's so good. And some of them just didn't ever want to deal with the business part of it. A lot of them dealt with the racism. A lot of them probably, didn't want to, they didn't want to even just cross the tracks. And what I did and decided to do, I never looked at racism. I never looked at stuff like that. I just knew I was good enough to go do what anybody else can do. And for me to stay on these big bulls is jumping real high in the air and just spinning and twisting. And I'm like, man, I get a paycheck for this. I'm like, shit, seconds, I got this. So it was just one of those kind of deals that I learned real fast. And I learned real fast how to handle money and how to win money, how to talk. Because that's one thing you got to know how to do is talk, because there'll be a lot of cameras in your face. So that's the business part of it right there. And a lot of these guys from around here in Texas and, everywhere else, there's only 8 of us black guys that ever been to the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. There's only 8 of us, and I'm just happy to be one of them in the world. But there's so many of them out there that can do it, and so many of them that I wish to go do it. But I'm the first black in the International Rodeo Association to win a world title. I have a younger brother. His name is Danell Tipton. He traveled quite a bit in the international. He makes the finals, I think, about 5 times. I made it with him one year. The last year that I qualified for the international finals, I qualified with him. He traveled with me that last year, and from then on, I went to the PRCA and started making that real long money. So
now, how did you catch their attention? Like you said, you're in Oklahoma. You guys have a circuit. You guys have your own rodeo and stuff you guys are doing. How did you catch the attention of the professionals to even get the opportunity to compete to become world champion?
Well, so the thing is, getting to rodeos is the hardest thing. Yeah. I'm telling you, traveling is the hardest thing. Getting to the rodeos riding the bulls is the easiest thing.
Yeah.
It might sound a little backwards, but that's just how it is. You can never meet enough friends on the circuit. When I first started in the international circuit, when I won my title, I was in the truck with 8 guys, and I was only bull rider in the truck at the time. I was hauling with steer wrestlers. Guy named Clarence LeBlanc from out of Okmulgee, Oklahoma, and Jesse Guillory, they showed me the ropes and I jumped in the truck with them. When you got guys traveling in one truck like that, which we had back then, we had the campers and stuff on the trucks and we were pulling bumper pull trailers. Now we got, we didn't move to luxury, we got the big long trailers and, they cost $100,000, and so we didn't move up like the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
So to the point to where, when you're in the truck with that, them guys, caliber guys, and I'm the youngest, I'm paying attention because I'm learning at the same time.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of guys tell you, hey, this is what's right and this is what's wrong. And I was just thankful that I met guys that can get me to that level that I needed to be in, because all the guys I was in the truck with had never made the national finals. So, but they made the international finals, and I would just thank God that I could pay attention.
And it's so dope what you do. We're going to highlight a little bit more, but you're constantly giving back to the legends who were there before you, or the up and coming people that are there now. But one really dope thing you had is you had a Wheaties box. So you're real humble. I can tell you're a humble person, man, but not too many people got a Wheaties box because of being a world champion. How did your family and your friends respond when they seen, that Wheaties box in the grocery store, or they found out you were going to be on that legendary cover?
Heck, I didn't know I was going to be on it, man, until, when you shining, and I'm humble, I don't never act like I'm better than the next man, or, or I never act like that. I never act like I'm too good or too cocky. Because people don't like cockiness. They don't like people that, that brags, and, it's a difference when you bragging on yourself of what you have done, and then you're really talking shit on what on something else. That's just how it goes. Man, I tell you what, I had a lot of sponsors. And the Cowboys need sponsors really to get up and down that road. That's what it takes. And if you carry yourself like if you carry yourself, like you should, in public, and that's what I was meaning a while ago when I was saying you have to learn how to talk to people. You have to learn how to carry yourself. And I did that, and people will like you, and they will want to put their business on your shirts. And so the thing is, I was thankful that Wrangler wanted to grab me and start, I started doing some Wrangler commercials, and Wrangler had me on the t-shirts, selling them in the stores. And it's crazy. Like, I would have people call me and reach out to me and say, man, we just bought your shirt in the Western store, man, your t-shirt, because Wrangler had a lot of shirts of, all the guys that they, endorsed, and every sport around the world. So, and it was just really, even Hispanics, they would have, me on a picture, t-shirt with Hispanic writing on it, and I would have a big fan base, even with the natives, and the natives, man, they were my biggest heroes. Like, when I go out to Arizona, and when I would go to New Mexico, man, I mean, it was like I was Michael Jackson. Like, I was so many autographs, with the natives. It just made me feel like, man, I've done something. So, just taking all that into one, I seen what I can do to people. So now it's time for me to just kind of let other people know what the people that was in the driver's seat before I got there. Because I don't know how they felt and what they did. So now I'm giving them an opportunity to tell their stories, because they was the door openers for me.
So dope.
And so, so that's why I started reaching out. I had a good friend of mine's, he's a filmmaker, video hero. He, me and him had an idea that we were going to kind of do a calendar, Cowboys and, calendar. And man, we had a meeting, and he had mentioned to me about, has there ever been an award show for all the Black Cowboys? And I was like, it has now.
I
said, give me a minute. Let me go home and let me think on it and sleep on it, and just give me a few days and see how I'm going to work this and how I'm going to do this. By me being well known, and, me being, who I am in rodeoing, people respect me, and because I always want to respect people. So they respect me. And so I know there's nothing these people wouldn't do for me. So I start making calls, and I start putting me a group together, and man, this is amazing now what we're doing.
So that's February 1st, 2025. You got the Black Cowboy Awards, Rodeo Awards in Gala. Like you said, I believe this is going to be the second one, or the first one?
Yes, this will be the second one. This will be the second one this year. It's held at the, National Cowboys Museum, Hall of Fame there here in Oklahoma City. And it's February the 1st, and you know, you can go on Eventbrite. You know, a lot of people out there, if they're listening, go to Eventbrite and get your tickets, man. Get some information, because it's amazing. You know, it's
Yeah.
amazing. The guys that I can touch. You have guys in there that's 90 years old and it's in their late 80s and early, as far as we go back, last year was such an amazing deal. And this year is going to be more crazier.
Yeah.
I got a lot of legends this year that's coming to get their flowers.
What made you decide to get into doing your own rodeo productions? Like you said, you're a world class bull rider yourself. You're giving back and doing all this stuff for your community, and then you decide to start putting on your own productions and doing this stuff. What made you and your team decide to take that on, and how satisfying is it to see how successful your productions are and how much people love them?
Well, I tell you, back in '99. I decided I was gonna come back home off the circuit. Last year I made the NFR was 2000 and 2001, I believe. When I did come back home, I said, you know what? I need to put a hometown rodeo on because we hadn't had one in so long here. The arena that we had here in Oklahoma City, well, here in Spencer,
Okay.
the arena that we have here, I was raised up at that arena. Then, the city that I'm from was majority of a white town. It was a white town here. And, then they would have what you call mule rodeos. Mule rodeos took the place of all the horses. We still had bull riding. It was still bull riding. I was coming over here getting on bulls at 14 years old and winning. I was entering with the adults.
Yeah.
And winning. And so about 3 years after that, so I had to been about 18 years old. That place growed up and they stopped having, a lot of people started dying off and they stopped having the rodeo over here. So that arena that, I was raised up in kind of went downhill. Yeah. And when I did come home, I said, man, I need to have a hometown rodeo. So I went over there, got with the city over here in the city of Spencer, man. And I fixed that place up and I put on a first annual, rodeo, which was a first annual Pony Express blowout rodeo here. Pony Express is real popular here in Oklahoma City, and that's with the black crowd.
Okay.
It's a relay race, 8 on a team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keon, I had the chance of interviewing Keon from the Riding Legacy movie that you're a part of. And she told me about that. Like, you got 4 people riding around in a relay race. Can you give us an example of some of the craziest stuff you've seen at these rodeos? Like, we all know we've seen the horrors that go on, but what's some of the cool stuff that you've seen, or some of the things that really make being at a rodeo a great experience for kids and families?
Rodeo it's just a family atmosphere anyway. Yeah. And that's why I was raised in rodeo, so it's a family deal, and it's meant for families to come out and have a good time. And and best believe me, kids watching everything. I was a kid, so I watched everything, and that's how I learned everything. It's still some stuff that, I'm 51, and still some stuff that I'm learning now. And and just to know, and I could pat myself on the back to say, the guys that I'm giving flowers to and the guys that's looking up to me now, I'm the youngest one ever. Yeah. So, I'm like, I'm 51, and these guys that I'm dealing with is way older than me. So, and I'm like, man, these guys is looking up to me, and I'm signing autographs for them, and I'm asking them for their autograph. I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this is amazing. So coming up as a kid, I know how it means. If kids see you doing something, they want to do it. And that's one thing I'm a role model here. I ain't never been into, I ain't never been into the drugs. I try to teach them not to do drugs, and, just kind of walk the line that, that I did, because I was around the time when game banging got to Oklahoma.
People don't know that, but it was real big out there.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school when, game banging got here. And of course, I lost a lot of classmates and friends from that stuff. I was never the one that wanted to kind of do that, because I'm like, I'm a cowboy. I don't give a damn what they do.
The alternative. Yeah.
So, but, I knew a lot of them. I hung out with some of my friends that was doing that stuff. And I'm like, so everybody around here knows me, that's Tip, man. When you drive into the city of Spencer, you see my name on that sign. So you're like, man, this cat made it, and and there's only a handful of us that come out of Star Spencer High School here that was all over television. A friend of mine's Derek Booker, they call him Nitro. He was a rapper. He got signed with Queen Latifah on Flavor Unit, and Byron Houston, and you had Ronald Moore, played football for the Jets. It was a handful of us that shined.
Yeah.
People don't forget that. People don't forget. Kids see that. So, me making an impact on kids, man, is amazing. I go do schools. Yeah, I go do, programs at schools and stuff. I have a program that I deal with, and I'm a councilman here for my city now.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah,
congrats.
so I'm active everywhere you can look at. So, just know that I'm proud to make a shock on this kid's life.
How did you and Keon and Brittany meet, and what made you want to be a part of this amazing documentary series they're working on to tell the legacy of the Black Cowboys?
Oh man, I met Keon and Jay. What Jay Red, which his name is Video. We call him Video Hero.
Okay.
Jay, he's from Spencer. And the thing was, when Jay contacted me about they was wanting to kind of do something about the cowboy, the rodeo life out here, and just talking to him, I could tell him everything about the rodeo life. I could tell him who's full of shit and who's not, because you have a lot of that out here, and when they started filming Riding Legacy, that was an amazing thing that they did, because now they could see what really goes on in black rodeos, the furthest the relay race and everybody who competes in different events. And them guys was just wanting to tell the story of the Black Cowboy. And I thought it was a great thing. So I was like, man, when they come to me for interviews and all that stuff, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. So, they're a good team to work with. Brittany, she's one of the producers on the show. She's a handful.
Yeah.
But she makes the wheels turn. She makes the wheels turn. She's amazing.
I heard in October, Brittany and you got together with some of your cowboy legendary friends. Can you tell us some of the names that you guys had to come together that's going to be showcased in these future episodes?
Just to name a few, you had guys like Charles Sampson and, just the top Murders Dykeman, Fred Winfield. You had Ronnie Fields. You had Clarence LeBlanc, Fly Thomas, Harold Cash, Freddie Gordon. And the list go on. Ben Stevenson, Gary Richards, them guys, Irvin Williams, man, and that's just to name a few. I got 15 of them guys, man, and it's crazy on how them guys just like tip. Yes, they have to drive to Fort Worth, or they flew in town, and Mike Ladding, guys up in Illinois. When you're dealing with guys, that's in Illinois, and they taking the time out their schedule to come down here and do this for me, man, it's just. And like I said, Brittany, she did a hell of a job, what she done to kind of get the wheels rolling for this deal. And this has never been done. Yeah, it's never been done. And you got greats that's on the East Coast that don't know the greats that's on the, in the South, that we brought them all together. They heard about each other.
Yeah, but never been together. Yeah.
Yeah, but never been together. Last year at the war show that we had, that was the first time all them guys got to see each other in ages. And we have a whole new group of guys coming back in this year. A lot of them, most of all them guys came to the war show last year. So, just bringing them guys together and letting them talk and see how, they react with each other in first meeting and dressed to appeal. It was amazing deal.
Now, for you, I know being a cowboy is something standard being from Oklahoma, but for people like I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, what's it really like being in Oklahoma, like being a cowboy out there? What's the life experience? What's kind of the day-to-day activities you guys have that, makes cowboying and being around horses so part of your day-to-day activities?
Well, when you putting your boots on every morning, putting your jeans on, your cowboy hat on, and you walking out that door, and you got livestock outside to go feed, rain, sleet, or snow.
Yeah.
I don't care how much ice is out there. You got to bust them
You
water
gotta do
troughs up. Yeah, you got to feed these animals. Thing is, if a lot of people got cattle that they have to go check, and once again, rain, sleet, or snow, just living the life out here. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do
Yep.
from other than city people. City people is different from country people, because country people, they has to get outside.
Yeah, yeah, they don't have that choice.
They don't have that choice. You have to get outside, and being on a rodeo circuit, there's a difference between cowboying,
Yeah.
cowboys and rodeo cowboys, and
Yep, facts.
the ranchers and farmers. All those is it's in the same country circle,
Yeah,
but
they
they're
do different
different.
things.
They do different things. You have your farmers and stuff, that's cutting hay, and they working 24/7 for food for horses, or food for for people,
Yeah.
and then you have your ranchers that's doing the same thing for this, driving cattle runs, and hauling cattle and all that stuff, and working the range. And then you have your rodeo cowboys that just that rides and competes and travels
Yep.
around the world. And I've been to 130 rodeos in a year.
Wow.
And everybody's got that goal on their mind, and at the end of that year is the gold buckle. They're trying to get to the
Trying to
national
win.
finals. They're trying to win, trying to be in that top 15 in the world. And they go on rodeo. There's a lot of people that lost their life,
Yep.
getting up and down the road, having accidents, or there's so much, but
I
that's
seen
the
I seen you speak on this a little bit on Instagram, not to go into too much depth, but just the amount of injuries and the amount of falls you've had. Can you highlight some of the things you've survived being a black cowboy and being this world champion? Like, it has some of that glitz and glamour of those wins, but what was some of those scary moments you've had doing your craft?
man. You know what? I can honestly say, I've never broke a leg. I
Wow.
never I
Okay.
never broke I never broke an arm. I mean, if you look at these guns
Blessed.
here, they pretty I mean, shoot. Pretty nice. But I live in the gym. I work
Yeah.
out 24/7. I'm in there every day getting it in. And thing is, there's a lot of guys that compete like this and never work out. But when they get
Wow.
hurt,
Okay.
they go home a lot longer, because they don't bounce back as much.
Yeah.
The injuries that I've sustained, I've had, I broke my jaw 3 times. I've had, I got stepped on in the stomach and punched in my lung, cut my liver, I ruptured my spleen. Of course, I had staples all in my face, under my chin, across the top of my head. I broke all these ribs on one side. You're gonna get hurt. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
when and how bad.
But it
It's
goes
just
to
a
show
matter.
how much you love it, though. Like that shows
Of,
how much you love
yeah,
something. If it's gonna possibly hurt you, but you still get up on that horse, get up on that bull to do what you got to do. It just shows you
yeah,
really love that sport, and you love helping other people fall in love with it too. Being this ambassador that you are for that, so I salute you on that. You had a chance to do a lot of dope stuff. Any advice you give to somebody who wants to get into being in the bull riding or being in rodeo today? What kind of advice would you give them?
man. My advice, to even to anybody, I was raised up in this as a kid. I didn't jump into this as an older, adult or anything like that. And I see a lot of guys doing that now.
Yeah.
They all of a sudden want to jump on a bull. Or they want to jump off on a steer. I've always done 2 events. I rode bulls and I steer wrestle. It was just to the point to where now I just steer wrestle. I retired from riding bulls. I don't get on bulls anymore. But I help out with a lot of these kids and youngsters that want to learn. Find you somebody that's really good at their event, that can dang show help you and tell you the right thing. Because I'm telling you, climbing up on the bull is dangerous.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it right, and you don't have nobody else to telling you how to do it right,
Yep.
you won't make it very long. I know some guys, I broke the 3rd vertebrae of my neck at the national finals in the 9th round in 2000. And I tell you, man, it was one of those things that it was scary because I couldn't feel my hands, my fingers, and all that was numb. And I'm like, dang, did this bull paralyze me? And you think like that. I mean, you're gonna get hurt. Like I said, just a matter of when and how bad. A good friend of mine is JB Mooney. He sustained a lot of injuries. a lot of injuries. A lot of guys I ride with and competed with. Lee Aikens, he's from out there in California, LA, and he made the NFR with me one year, in a couple of years, matter of fact. And Lee, he got stepped on in the head, and he'll never be the same again. Thank God he lived, but he can never, it throws everything off your equilibrium. It spins your world around. So find you somebody that knows what they're doing and how they're doing it, and find out where you can go get a class at, or find out where who can teach you the right way, man, and follow them. That's what I did. I followed the best. Watched a lot of video. A lot of different guys have different styles. Coming up, as a kid, my favorite couple of bull riders was, Charles Sampson, and was Ty Mary, Clint Bronger, guys like that I watch, and I watched their style. Jim Sharp, I watched their style and I developed my style, and that's the reason why I was so good at what I've done.
They kind of say that's the secret to success that nobody understands. You find somebody that's doing what you want to do, and you find their template, and then you go add your own sauce to it. So you watch all those greats, and you take this, take that, take this, so you can have your own template on how it gets done, and then you add your sauce to it, and then that's what makes you a great person.
Absolutely. Like, it's crazy that you said that, because my riding style, I've always, they call it spurring bulls. I move my feet a lot, and it developed my style to where it made it look so good that I could make a bull look good if he wasn't even bucking that hard. Like I'm riding the hell out of him. So, and I'm going to place. I'm going to win first. So I'm going to place, somewhere in there. So, I developed my style by watching the greats, and who was to know that, guys I watched as a kid. And I'm Matt, when I tell you guys I watched as a kid coming up, like Ty Mary and guys like Aaron Seamus and Gilbert Carrillo, guys, that I'm sitting at the house at 15, 16 years old watching them, like, wow, at the NFR, I'm watching these guys, man, and next thing I know, who's to know I was going to be qualifying with him in 1998. I'm making an NFR. I'm walking in Thomas and Mack, in Las Vegas. Like, this is crazy. I was just watching guys on TV a few years ago. Now I'm nodding my head with them for shoot 30,000 around, in 10 days. So I just amazing. And so father's me taking what I've done back then to now. Giving these older guys their roses. I could die tomorrow and I could say, man, Tip, job well done.
Yeah, you've done a phenomenal job, and you're still doing a great job. Like I said, the National Black Cowboy Rodeo Awards and Gala is next year, so it's still going to get bigger and better for you. What's your thoughts right now? Like, everybody in the culture is becoming cowboys. So you've been a black cowboy all your life, but now it's the cool thing to do. Like, I'm hearing, of course, Beyonce, but there's a lot of other dope artists that are moving that way. How do you feel about that? And are we ever going to see you in a video or anything like that, in the future, you think?
Who knows what I'm going to be in? Who knows what's going to happen? Me growing up in rodeoing, and see how it started with me and to now. Now that it's one of the highlights with all the black, because I see it all the time. You have your trail riders, you have it's so many groups of the trail riders, and there's so many dance groups that's I'm like, everybody, come on, we got room for everybody. And I love seeing all that stuff on television. I love seeing guys that, I love seeing black people in cowboy hats, because this is my life, so it's good that people can come on and and it's funny when you see people trying to go buy Western clothes and I'm rocking them a certain way because Wrangler dresses me. So my whole deal is I'm looking at other people dress. I'm like,
you made a slight little flex there. Like, y'all can go buy your stuff, but they send it to me personally. I just got to open my door.
But it's different when you see people trying to come on at this culture and trying to do it, and I'm like, boy, this is funny, but I'm glad that they're doing it. I mean, it's amazing because, going out to rodeos like in Arizona, I'm a part of Black Rodeo USA. and they have so many. We're gonna have so many events next year, and we have our finals in Scottsdale, Arizona, Labor Day weekend. That's gonna be just going out that way to see how the fans dressing. I mean, you got stars that's coming that's dressing in cowboy. It's this weekend. I had a party last night, a cowboy party last night here in Oklahoma City, and Tony Williams, he had came and he had flew in town and came, and it's amazing that we're going to be working with him. And we had some NFL stars, that's retired that came, and Antonio Smith, and it just guys like that, man, that coming in there with cowboy hats on. It's just amazing to look at. And I won't, if people born in the same country, come on.
Yeah. Now, with your productions, are they mainly just in the South, or are you in the Midwest? Are you East Coast? Like, where can people go to see you guys perform if they can't make it to Oklahoma? Any other cities or anything outside of your market you're doing, or you're thinking about doing in the future?
Yeah, they can go to blackrodeousa.com. They can look up Black Rodeo USA. We have a calendar on there. All the rodeos that we have, and there'll be a lot of them in Jacksonville, Florida. We have them in Scottsdale, Arizona. You can, there's quite a few of them on there. Even you can, look at the Bill Pickett Rodeo Association schedule. Bill Pickett, they have a lot of black rodeos that's around the world, California, Denver, so if people want to watch, go to rodeos and they're from, other than around here, in the South, man, just check your calendars, Bill Pickett, Black Rodeo USA. There's a lot of them rodeos going on in different, cities. So be a follower.
Now, I know you've had the privilege to be a judge as well. So you're not just the athlete, but now you're a judge. What's something you're looking for that we could give maybe some game to the competitors? What's a pet peeve of yours that, you look for when they're performing that if they knew that maybe they get higher scores or something like that, you could provide them?
Well, the thing is, when you competing and you're doing it the right way, you're gonna make some money.
Yeah,
you have a lot of people out there that that's really learning, and they're competing with other people that's really so good, but that shouldn't knock you down. You just should try a little harder, go practice, get in that practice pen, and work at it. Eat it, sleep it, walk it, dream it. Everything you can do to be perfect, to be better. I started going to the judging clinics in 1993. I started the judging clinics, and I started learning not just about my event, about all the other events, because there's rules and everything.
Everything,
and that's what a lot of cowboys don't do. They don't learn rodeo. They just know their event, and there's a lot of them that don't know their event very good. So just being a official, there's a life outside of me competing. I'm always going to be a part of rodeoing, regardless of if I'm producing, putting them on, regardless on if I'm judging, regardless on if anything, I'm going to always be a part of it. This is going to be the death of me.
Now, you've mentioned a lot of legends. Anybody who's on the rise, like any new stars that we should be checking out for, that's in your that you guys are watching or helping, that it may not have that big name as a legend yet, but are on the rise to get there?
Man, and it's a lot of these kids around here that I really, don't know a whole lot of them's name. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've been jerked down and hit in the head a lot, so I don't remember a whole lot of things. But I know these kids when I see them. There's a kid, his last name is Loud. His father, his brother, Gilder, they from Texas, and he's on the PBR tour. You have a lot of them guys. There's a couple of kids on the PBR tour right now that's really, 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 really hot. And making some money. Making a living rodeoing. There's a lot of them that's coming up. Even in the roping, the steer wrestling. You got guys like David Reger and Chase Crane, Torrey Johnson. Them guys in the steer wrestling to be watching for, because they go to a lot of pro rodeos. You have a lot of guys in South Texas also that's really, really hot. Just stay tuned, because you'll see them guys that far. they're gonna get to where they're making a lot of money because it pays a lot of money now.
Now, have you reached out to like Bum B or anybody? They're doing some really dope stuff in Texas with the rodeo right now. Have you or anybody on your team reached out to them about collaborating or being a part of the rodeo they're doing?
No, but I would love to work with them.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna speak it into existence.
Yeah, I would love to work with them guys. And especially if they're involved in rodeoing. Of course, they need to know me.
Yeah,
They know me because I mean, I would love to work with them. And everybody don't knows rodeo. Everybody don't know rodeo. And that's why thing of me coming on Riding Legacy is they know me because I know rodeo.
yeah.
I know who's full of shit and who's not. Because there's a lot of full of shit cats out there, and my whole deal is I'm gonna tell it like it is.
Yeah.
Thing is, I never bit my tongue, but don't try to gain fame when you haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I paved the way. I've dealt with a lot of stuff. I dealt with the racism. I dealt with the, the soreness. I dealt with the, trying to get up and down the road, breaking down on side the highway. I'm still a world champion.
Yeah.
And I made it to the level that, a lot of cats can't get to. So, I love to work with a lot of them guys that's trying to get off into, even just the rodeo aspect of it. I'm glad to see Beyonce, what she's done, man. I'm telling you, because last year when she first broke out with her country album and she was on that war show with that nice, a hat on.
Yeah.
Everybody can't wear a silver belly hat like that.
Yeah.
She sold out. All these Western stores sold out. After they seen her wear that hat, they was like, "Shh, we're going to get a hat." So that, I mean, I'm so glad of what she's doing for this country music. There's a lot of Black country, people transitioning. It ain't just
good
about
music. I mean, if that's what I never understand is if it's good music, it's good music. You don't have to put it on a certain classification. Just does it sound good to you, and do people enjoy it singing it? I know we mentioned some of your team already, but how important is a team to you, and who are the members of your team that help make everything go the way it goes?
Fathers, you talking about rodeoing, putting on events, or fathers, you talking about, because I got teams everywhere.
Yeah.
When you say teams, we got so much stuff going on this end. We have a lot of teams. Of course, the Riding Legacy team, which is the production, for the films and all the documentaries. You have Brittany and you have Jay Reed, and Keon. It's just that team right there, man. For what they're doing and what they have doing and making these old Black Cowboys shine, it's amazing. It's amazing. Father, it's my rodeo team, my production team, me helping put these rodeos together, Right Rodeo Company. And, I got, basically when you're talking about a team, man, you're talking about a jungle.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I come on board of Black Rodeo USA for next year. Lynette and Jesse Guillory and Kenneth LeBlanc. We're gonna make this rodeo, thing pop, because we add a lot of things to it. So, team, that's what you have to get this stuff going.
Now, outside of rodeo and creating all these dope events you're doing, what do you like to do for fun? Like if you got an off day, what are you doing to enjoy yourself?
Man, trying to sleep. But that's gonna be a negative because I'll never get that done. I race motorcycles, man. I have a drag bike, so I go to the motorcycle races, and that's my second love is racing. I have a pro outlaw bike, it's a 7-second drag bike.
That's fast.
So I go to a lot of races and stuff like that. So that's my second love other than rodeoing, and just hanging out with the family, my son Jalen, that's my world. So, we're a family. I'm a family man. So, I have a big family, and we always have events and stuff. We do cookouts and stuff. So, and my family helps me with everything, all the war show, rodeos that I have, I couldn't ask for a better team, for this my family. Because if they was to tap out on me, I'll be shit out of luck.
Yeah. Now, before we get out of here, once again, where can people go get tickets for the award show? Who's going to be involved? Can you give us a little more highlight on the award show so we can clip that up for you and, let the world know why they should be coming out to support you guys?
Man, you can go to BCRAS.com and you can look on that. You can find out how to get your tickets on Eventbrite. It's February the 1st here in Oklahoma City at the National Museum and Cowboy Hall of Fame. You can follow me on the Danell Tipton, and Instagram. Yeah. Danell Tipton on Facebook. You can see I'm new at this social media, so I got between Sin and Brittany, they run all my social media stuff, man. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have it. I mean, I'm just not that kind of person that be in the phone 24/7. Sometimes I can leave my phone at home and never.
Yeah. People get mad at me too. I put my phone down and forget about it too. Like sometimes you just need to decompress a little bit from everything. Exactly. And then last question for you, because I know you're a busy person, so I'm not going to take too much more of your time. But what do you want to say to your fans and supporters after all these years? Like, what would you like to say to them? And and we'll get out of here.
Man, I want to thank everybody. If all my fans out there and people that always follow me for the last, because I'm gonna tell you, when I was just telling you, Brittany and Sin kept me set up this social media, and I really didn't realize how many people watched and follow me. Yes. Keon was telling me yesterday, we had a meeting. He was telling me that, it was almost 80,000 K within three days or something like that. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? Yeah. And Brittany always tell me that how many people that, looking for me. If I'm like, God, I never did know I made an impact. But you know what?
Amazing.
I want to tell everybody, keep following me. We got some bigger and better things coming, and be the best at what you want to do in rodeoing or anything else. So I want to thank you for having me on and stuff like that to get to share.
Yeah, honored. And it's so amazing to me that you said that, because the people who are the best at what they do, they're always humble about it. Like, you're the Michael Jordan of the stuff you do. Like, you're the one that everybody knows and loves, and you're shocked to know that people want to find you. But yeah, right now, like, everybody loves bull riding, so it's perfect time for you to be back out here with your social media, maybe show some clips of you doing what you did, as the best one. And that's just going to keep building off the momentum that's going on right now, because everybody loves it right now. People are coming to country, people are coming to the rodeo. So why not put you as the star you are and let them know who's the best? So, I'm excited to see what else you do. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, I want to tell everybody out there who want to be a part of this BCRAs, all the sponsors and all that stuff, we take it on board. We, it kind of in a brand what you have out there, fathers, all the black entertainers, of country or, R&B who wants to tap into this. We want to tell everybody, man, February the 1st, you guys need to be here to see what's going on and come to some of these rodeos we have. First weekend in May, we have the Cowboys of Color here in Oklahoma City at the fairgrounds. Over 10,000 people every year that we have come to these events. We have Boley, Oklahoma, which is Memorial Weekend. Want everybody to be there. Be well over 10,000 people that come to that event, Memorial Weekend here in Boley, Oklahoma. Okmulgee, Oklahoma. The second weekend in August. I need everybody to come. That's another event that we have. That's one of our biggest rodeos here in Oklahoma. Over 10,000 people that comes to these rodeos. Everybody follow. Everybody tap in. You can go to Video Hero on Instagram, Facebook. Check it out. He have everything on there. BCRAs.com and follow the Tipton at on Instagram.
And then we'll definitely be supporting, promoting the event leading up to it in February. So I'll get with Sin as more material comes out so we can keep promoting, man. But I appreciate your time tonight, and I hope you have a great night, fam.
Man, thanks, Matt. Appreciate you.
Honored. Salute.